Have you ever noticed how each generation has its own unique character? It's not just about when we were born or the year on our birth certificate. It's about the experiences that help to shape us. Generational theories explore the fascinating interaction between history and identity, between the individual and the collective. There are many theories about generations. Strauss and Howe proposed that history unfolds in cycles of 4 archetypes: hero, artist, prophet, and nomad, each of those influencing the next. Then there's Mannheim's theory, which suggests that each generation forms a unique unit, shaped by the social and historical context of their youth. And let's not forget the generational cohort theory, which categorizes us into groups based on shared experiences and common milestones like wars, economic crises, technological revolutions, each of those leaving their mark on us. These theories aren't just academic exercises. They help us grasp why baby boomers are often seen as idealistic trailblazers, why Gen Xers are labeled as independent pragmatists, why millennials are hailed as tech-savvy innovators, and why Gen Z is characterized as socially conscious digital natives. In a world where change is constant and the pace of history seems to quicken with each passing year, these theories offer a roadmap, a way to understand where we've been and where we might be headed. So the next time you find yourself thinking of the differences between your friends and your colleagues of different ages, remember, it's not just about age. It's about the echoes of our history that reverberate through each of us, shaping who we are and who we will become.
Well, I feel like in my generation, we're able to just take things and kind of go with it and go with the flow.
So I'm a millennial, so we catch grief from everybody.
I'm Gen X, and I think Gen X has a reputation for working hard.
As a millennial, the trademark is going to be like, we're going to handle our stuff and we're going to get it done, but we're going to scroll TikTok at the same time.
I think, speaking for myself and our generation, what I tend to do is ask a lot of questions. When you ask questions, you get to know the real meaning, or at least try to get to know the real meaning.
We're the kids of the 80s, so we really grew up in a time of if you wanted it, it was there.
I think a hallmark trait of my generation is being able to explain our emotions more effectively.
I think we're dependable and hard workers.
We want to actually enjoy life, go on vacations, seek experiences that we value outside of work, and to not allow work to be our defining factor on who we are.
So I think for us, we are really more about the experience.
I grew up in a small community, and I could go to any household. I could eat, I could play.
People in my generation probably value traits like integrity, honesty, hard work.
With how, with COVID and stuff that has happened, I feel like it's really changed our perspective on all of, because we've seen a lot of honestly kind of scary things happening on the news and stuff. And as a kid, you're looking at that and going, ooh, that's rough. So I feel like my generation is going to be the one to step up and do more.
How do we apply these theories to help those with vastly different life experiences to see the same vision? How do we use this knowledge to make the communities we live in better?
Communications is important. With communication comes listening. And I think to be a good listener is a very important part of communications. Don't assume you know all the questions and the answers, that somebody else does have a good idea. Be able to accept that idea and then through my responsibility as an elected official, turn that idea into a benefit in the public service life.
A lot of younger generations will say, you know, I want to learn from boomers, but I just don't always like the package that they put it in. And if they could just say things a little bit differently, that would really help me. What I say to the younger generations is that boomer may not say it exactly the way you want to hear it, but if they respect you and they believe you value what they're saying, they're going to give you nuggets of wisdom every time they talk to you, right? And so even equipping both sides to understand how to communicate with the other.
Being accessible all the time still is unique to me, where someone can have a business call for you at any time of the day and you have to set the boundaries yourself, but you kind of are always accessible that way.
And in one word, she makes a point that I think really distinguishes the generations today, and that's technology.
Oh.
She is so far ahead in that, and I am so ignorant within it, and I say, well, I'm too old to learn all that stuff, but I'm finding out I'm really not. And there's advantages to it, but it really, I think technology gives her and her generation more free time. Mine's get it done yourself, you know, do it manual. I have a manual calculator on my desk, and you know, I write things out before I send an email. I write them out on notepaper to make sure it's what I want to say. Yes.
We were texting back and forth about this scheduling, and I was like, this is great that my chairman has let me text and schedule it this way.
When I learned to text, that was great. I mean, that opened a whole new world for me, was to learn to text or to send an email and how to read an email and respond to it, you know. I've learned more and more of how to do that. The longer I can live, the more of that I'll learn how to do also.
What's your favorite song?
Oh, my favorite song? Oh my gosh. Okay, so
We're really getting generational now, Chris.
I love Whiskey Lullaby, Brad Paisley and Alison Krauss. I love that song.
I guess my favorite song of all time was Dream Lover by Bobby Darin. Y'all don't even...
I don't know that song.
I don't know that song.
That would have been about 1957 or 8.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Shawshank Redemption.
So good.
What about you?
I have... Well, it's just so funny that it's so much contrast, but I love the Lord of the Rings. I love that kind of stuff.
I think we both like to have fun.
Yeah, true.
My idea, I had lesser opportunities for fun. I mean, she has so many more opportunities in life and in our society today than what I had. When I was a kid, we'd go out to Finchfield and Thomas, watch High Toms play baseball. When I was 10, 11 years old, my mom would take me and my cousin over there and just put us out. You wouldn't think about doing that today.
These generational theories, they're more than just theories. They are stories written in the language of time. We all have our own thoughts about generations. The question is, how do we take all of those thoughts, experiences, differences, and similarities into account in the ways we work together, in the ways we lead, in the ways we recruit talent, and perhaps, most importantly, in the ways we attract the new generations into fields of public service?
It's really a hard question to answer if you really think about it. So what public service means to me is connecting me to humanity.
It is generally more community work and community building, and it's focused on something bigger than ourselves.
Public service to me is trying to fill that gap that's open. You know, see what your fellow citizens need and be willing to do whatever it is.
Trying to make sure that we all get a fair shot.
Helping those that need help and being a light for those who are suffering in some form of darkness, and just being a good person.
Being that voice of the voiceless.
Short answer is I love where I live and I'm going to fight for it.
Basically helping your community out, and not because it's going to make you look good, because you want to do it. Like, you want to help people out because it's making a difference.
The evolution of leadership mirrors the shifting values and experiences of each generation. What was once about authority and command has transformed into a more relational, adaptive form of leadership. It's not just about making decisions from the top. It's about building consensus, nurturing talent, and fostering a culture of innovation. As we move forward, bridging these generational perspectives is key.
So I was teaching leadership development at a university for 10 years. And every year I would ask my students, what is the best form of leadership? And I would give them 3 choices: authoritative, democratic, and laissez-faire. And one year, they were all like, laissez-faire leadership! And being the solid Gen Xer that I am, I was like, really? Like, you all think you do you leadership is the best way to lead? And they were like, 100%. And I was like, wow, here I am trying to teach leadership to a generation, the millennials, right? And they see it through a completely different lens than I do. This generational conversation is really important right now, and people want to know more about it. And so how can I, build on what I've already learned and help people grow in this area and get better at collaborating well together? Because if we're not listening to every generation, right, we're just going to fall further and further behind. Research has found that teams with only a 10-year age span, so that's one generation on the team, those teams will meet or exceed expectations 35% of the time. That's not the number you want, right? Now you expand that from 10 years of age to 25 years of age or more, make it multi-generational. Those teams meet or exceed expectations 73% of the time. So that's more than double what your multi-generational team can do for you and your organization.
Truly, when it comes to learning different communication skills, for someone of my generation to have these conversations with someone of Chairman Fry's generation, it comes with hoping that this person doesn't assume that you don't know something because of your age, but constantly trying to check yourself so that you don't assume that they have different beliefs from you in general. I mean, we have the same idea of clearly having fun and serving the public. We might be more in alignment with our definitions of public service than me and people of my generation. So part of being able to communicate is breaking down a couple of those assumption barriers, really. One
of the biggest reasons a Gen Zer is going to accept your job offer is because you're telling them from day one how you're going to grow and develop them. So what used to be, come work for us and you're going to have this amazing career, right, has now become come work for us and we're going to help you get where you want to go. And that's a big shift for older generations to understand, right? Because they're like, well, you're just not loyal. Well, the world has changed an awful lot, right? And if I was an older boomer or a traditionalist and I work at my company my whole career, I got a pension and a gold watch at the end. Millennials will say, I'm not sure my company's going to exist in the next 10 or 15 years. And with all this AI, I'm not sure my job's even going to exist in 5 or 10 years. Right? Zers will say, I'm not sure the planet's going to exist in 10 years, right? And when your priorities and the way these things are happening in the world, your priorities start to shift, right? And so the way people enter the workforce, they enter through a different paradigm, and it's what the workplace can offer me, right? And how how can you get me again where I want to go.
Work-life balance is how much of your life you want to feel is touched by your work, and the more work that you do in public service, I think you get to actually be involved with community, and it bleeds over into your personal life in such a positive way.
Seems like my life lately has been all work, but I like to work. I've never lost the desire to work, and I work for the other person. And so I feel a dedication there, a responsibility there.
I think that there is an idea in public service that we maybe don't get to have the quote-unquote privilege of work-life balance, because like what Chairman Fry is saying, because we are devoting ourselves to others' needs don't stop. It's a different world that we work in, but I think about what he just said about wanting to have fun. There's there's an idea that maybe my generation wants to have more fun than is normal, but I think the conversation really needs to come back to, yes, we are devoted to our work, but the world is so big and we are so inundated. Sometimes you do have to put boundaries because technology is so pervasive that we have to say, you know, I do need to put this time for my family.
Faced with the challenge of losing years of experience and knowledge and the need for fresh perspectives, local leaders are pioneering innovative programs aimed at attracting and keeping younger talent. Through leadership programs and apprenticeship opportunities, seasoned professionals are passing on their knowledge while gaining new insights from their youthful counterparts. But it doesn't stop there, as organizations and governments are stepping up to the plate, offering incentives that speak directly to the aspirations of the younger generations. Flexible work arrangements and career development pathways are becoming more widely adopted. There's also significant work being done to prepare youth for future careers as nonprofits and county governments are stepping up to better equip the leaders of tomorrow.
We have so many kids that are in our clubs that have so many dreams, but then these dreams sometimes become deferred because they see what's around them. So we know at Boys and Girls Club, our job is to not only make sure that young people are at or above their grade level, that they're practicing good character and citizenship, and that they're living a healthy lifestyle, but we want them to just, like I say, just have an opportunity to have a good life. You know, people always say, be careful because you'll reap what you sow. So I always want to try to sow good seed. And the same thing with people. If you sow good seed in people, then they'll have a better opportunity of growing up to be good people. I think right now the generation is really finding their own way. I mean, so many of us want them to be a certain way, and they're still trying to figure it out because they're introduced and have access to so much. You know, sometimes they're looking at social media and they're seeing the things where they feel like that they should be. But now kids are introduced to so many different opportunities. Kids are coming up being video game designers. They're you know, doing their own products and stuff, you know, being influencers on the internet. And they're making money. But as soon as they start seeing, they can start believing. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get them to start believing that they can accomplish anything. They can be the next innovators in our country and in the world.
Last year I got the opportunity to have a job through here. So basically it was at the pool, a cashier at the pool. So I got the opportunity to like work there, and while I was working there I learned like lessons like how you work like under pressure. You can't fuss at people. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna do that, but you can't. You have to be patient. It's basically a major, very major characteristic when you're working.
I work in my own classroom. I work with 8th through 9, so I like coming in and seeing them excited to see me and just working with them. The fact that I am 16 and working with them, I say it is a lot. It's teaching me a lot of responsibility. Definitely gotta have some, be mature with it.
In Surrey and Yadkin counties, the county, the school system, and the community college have all worked together to develop a program that matches workforce needs with local business and industry.
We work with our local school systems and community college students to place students in pre-apprenticeship opportunities. And a pre-apprenticeship opportunity allows a student to complete a work-based learning in a business, get paid for that experience, and then the business gets to try the student out. So the student tries out the career and this business tries them out, which is beautiful. And so that gives everybody an opportunity to see if this is the right fit for them.
So once I learned about the program, I told Crystal, I said, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to have a role at the hospital. And from there, I used that experience to learn that's not exactly what I want to do. I knew I wanted something that was a little bit more spontaneous and was hands-on with software.
When I was NCACC president, my initiative was around disconnected youth, opportunity youth, we call them now.
In my home county, Yadkin County, as of 2017, the most recent stats available, we are now second worst in the state for disconnected youth.
We studied, the task force studied, you know, some of the best practices and the emerging things that were happening in the state and other parts of the country too, for that matter. This emerged as a great opportunity to really affect that, and it has. As soon as they step into high school with CTE, Surrey Yak and Works is almost immediately available to them, as soon as they turn 16. And so, gosh, it's just created those pathways that we talked about through my initiative.
And Surrey County in general has benefited greatly from the program. We initially got involved, and it was a way to develop talent in a place we were struggling the most, which was EMS. And so we've actually had students come through who now are full-fledged, full-time employees who are EMTs and possibly paramedics. And we use them in finance, the health department, looking to start next year with our building inspections department. So we've been an active participant since the beginning.
In Catawba County, the K-64 program, which began as a partnership between the community college, the school system, and the county, is preparing students for roles that serve the community and keep youth in the area after completing their education.
The K-64 is a workforce development initiative. It's an initiative where we brought local industry, local and county government, and education together to really address the workforce needs that the county was facing.
Yeah, so K-64 was one of those initiatives that was data-driven. We looked at the census data, and it indicated some population declines here in the Catawba Valley region. And so the commissioners came to me and said, can you put together something bold that will help us keep these young people here in Catawba County? And so Mark Story and myself got together, and he was working with the public schools at that time, and I was working here. And we developed a plan that was game-changing and presented it to the commissioners, and they provided the seed funding. We got corporate private donations to match that seed funding, and the rest was history, because one of the first initiatives was to make sure that we bridged the technology divide that existed in this county.
I am part of the Community Response Unit. It's a fairly new unit that Hickory has made. We go from calls to calls that we can take, low-level calls, entry-level calls.
Where I am working at right now, I interact with a lot of older people, so I think just being able to be there to listen to them, they just want somebody to listen to them. And if we do that, if we just take some time to listen to each other, I think we'll understand where everyone's coming from, and that way, we can move forward with each other's perspectives in mind.
I would strongly suggest that people who are interested in law enforcement to join this apprenticeship. This is a great way to get your foot in the door of policing, a great way to get some experience and just know what the true values of policing is.
In Onslow County, the Close Up program educates high school students about the important role county governments play in their lives.
It's been something that started back in the mid-'80s with some history teachers, social studies teachers here in the Onslow County Schools led by Louisa Ringo. And it really became a first-hand experience and has just carried forward for years. And it's been great to get the kids in the building and to see what county government's all about. And you really let them know that county government is where the rubber meets the road for them.
I'm here today because I really want to know more about our local government and services, because I've taken many classes, including in AP government and comparative government, and I noticed I only really know about our federal government, and I pretty much know nothing about our local government and services, so I really wanted to know more about that.
Learn about how that's kind of the foundation of our state and federal government. Everything was built off of the local governments because that's all they had in the beginning. So it shows how important they are to the way we are organized in America.
I also did this last year too, and I enjoyed it so much that I came back because I personally would also like to pursue a career somewhere in this field. So I thought it was super fun and a very enriching experience.
You have a lot of kids that see this as something that they want to pursue, and by getting them in the room and seeing what takes place, it really spurs their interest and gets them involved.
Wayne County has developed a leadership institute to prepare future leaders within their current workforce to take on larger roles within the county government.
So the Leadership Institute started when Megan Wilson approached us and said, we've got this idea of how we can introduce the intergovernmental workings to our staff members.
So I've been in local government since I was 22, which is about 20 years ago. And for me, I'm starting to see that we're getting a lot of people coming in from the private sector, or we're getting a lot of people coming in at the beginning of their career, and they really don't know all the intergovernmental relations that go on within the county. And it's very important to us that we all understand that what this department does affects what this department does, affects what this department does, and it takes us all together to really make this community a great community for our residents.
I think we've seen a lot of growth in their comfort levels as far as public speaking and working together and kind of coming out of their comfort zones a little bit. They've also really expressed how their knowledge base has expanded. Even though they work for the county, they didn't know all of the things that the county provides. So it's really expanded their scope of government work.
In an effort to build a pipeline of talent for local government, the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners has developed the Strategic Member Services Program, which is working on a statewide level to connect master's level graduates early in their careers to service in local governments.
There was a really incredible thought and initiative around being able to use ARPA money in a way that was really innovative and creative and thoughtful about the future of public service in North Carolina. Why that's really important is because we really want to make sure that we have good succession plannings within our local governments, because we know how much that makes a difference in terms of lack of turnover, in terms of making future leaders feel prepared for the challenges they face. So how can we make sure that we're creating a pipeline of people who are stepping into those roles with mentorship, with experience, with the ability to know the challenges that they're going to face and being able to rise to that when it comes time for their need to be in a leadership role. I think it's really important, especially in what we see in North Carolina, right, in the terms of turnover that we're seeing in our local governments, and also just knowing the importance of having some of that institutional knowledge when we think about what adaptive leadership really asks of us.
I really think is establishing a pool of people who are willing to be public servants. And I think that's, in the past, I think it was easier to do than it is today. So I think from succession planning, I think you have to be very precise on what you're doing, which I know in my career, looking back now at it, I can see where I could have done a better job of that. Because I think everybody gets busy doing their day-to-day stuff and they're not really thinking about way out in the future of what happens if I'm not here. You've got to have people in line to take those positions, but realize that they may not be there. So you really need a backup for the backup.
Being able to mentor people through those roles, making sure that as you're coming up through, whether it's accounts payable or payroll, fixed assets, grants management, that you're learning as much as you can, as often as you can, but also having that leadership component where people are willing to share information. So it needs to be from the top down and the bottom up.
You know, it's federal government, state government, wonderful opportunities, but local government, you actually are in the community and you can see the difference and be a part of the difference and see it have an impact on lives in the community.
Currently stationed in Washington and Berkeley counties, what I do primarily with them is help coordinate a bunch of different projects, from be it infrastructure, water, community-driven projects. So just a plethora of things. So whatever they really need us to do, we come in and we just do it. So
I'm learning so much from the counties and the people who work there, while also being able to provide capacity assistance. I know in Burke County, the person I'm working with has more projects than they do time. So I've really been excited to be able to come alongside her and to help her accomplish the projects that she's set out to do.
These individuals aren't coming through this program alone. They're coming into this program with a cohort of other professionals who are interested in public service like them, and they're building a really solid foundation of people that they will turn to in those times of challenge when they reach leadership roles.
Each generation's unique experience not only shapes their approach to public service, but also influences how they communicate and collaborate within these roles. Understanding this is crucial to harnessing the collective strengths of diverse generational perspectives in the pursuit of common goals.
Another interesting trend, I think, around recruitment that people are often relieved to hear is, millennials have been known as job hoppers. They on average stay at a job for about 3 years and then they bounce. Well, there's recent research out on Gen Z, and these were college graduates from 2020, 2021, and 2022. And over 70% of them actually said they want to work long-term for a company. And the big thing they're looking for is stability. And if you think about the world that they're in right now, right, they want something that they can count on, that's continuous, right, and then safe in some ways. Now, the big difference, while millennials were job hoppers, what we think we're going to see from Gen Z is being role hoppers. So I want to come work for you, I want to grow roots in your organization, but that doesn't necessarily even want the same job for 1 year, right? They want to keep growing and developing.
We're now, into infrastructure, expanding our infrastructure here in the county, taking advantage of the lake and expanding, working with our municipalities on infrastructure, wastewater treatment. But I think we've kept up.
I really hope that my generation is able to understand that civic duty is being in the public, is seeing other people as part of your community and asking them what they need. You do those things that maybe are more thankless or not as public facing, but they're just as important, and the fulfillment that you get from that is, I think, could help them to understand what work-life balance really is, where you put work into your life and you put a little bit more of your life into your work.
Boomers operated in a very hierarchical, kind of top-down world. Gen Zers are like, hey, we're bringing casualness into the workplace, and we're really proud of that. And one of the reasons for that is that Gen Z is the first generation to call their parent their best friend, right? So when I look at somebody who's older than me, if I'm a Gen Zer, I'm not going, oh, I need to respect you. I'm going, you're my buddy. Like, let's hang out. Let's talk about whatever, right? And so you hear a lot of boomers going, who does this Gen Zer think they are, coming straight to the CEO's office? Like, how dare they? And they're like, well, I just wanted to have a conversation with you. I wanted to learn from you, or I had a question, right? To them, that wall, that hierarchy, right, that pedestal, it's not there. It looks very different. And I think that's a really tough hurdle for Xers and boomers especially to get over.
In a world that often seems defined by its differences, there is immense power in unity, particularly when it comes to bridging the gaps between generations. Each generation has faced its own set of challenges and triumphs, shaped by the events of their time. By acknowledging and respecting these differences, and not allowing the theories that we already hold about those in other generations to affect how we perceive them, we can build bridges of understanding that transcend age barriers. Workplaces can lead by example. Embracing diversity in age, experience, and perspective not only enhances creativity and productivity, as we've seen, but also creates inclusive environments where everyone can thrive and contribute meaningfully. Continuing to teach future generations about the importance of public service is also a key to a thriving future for our communities. Without those public servants, how will those in need continue to be served? Above all, it's about recognizing our shared humanity and collective responsibility. Each generation has a stake in shaping the future, and by working together, we can create a world where every generation not only works, but thrives.